Hello and welcome to Entirely English and our series on manners. In this installment, we are going to be looking at manners on the street and when shopping. So let's go straight into it. And the first thing to say is when walking down the pavement or the path, always choose one side to walk on. Some people say always the right, some people say always the left. It doesn't really matter. Choose a side. Try to avoid walking down the middle. This avoids conflict when you come face to face with someone and then you do that strange dance. Oftentimes I will say thank you for the dance if that happens, but just take one side. If a person coming towards you is on that side, then watch their feet. See if they start to move to the opposite side. If they don't, you do it. So you don't collide, you don't have this silly dance. Also, when walking down the street, don't stop suddenly. Unfortunately, unlike cars, we don't have rear view mirrors, we don't have brake lights or indicators. If you stop suddenly and somebody's walking close behind you, it could cause a problem. So if you're going to stop, move. Like if you're walking down here and you're going to stop to look in the window, move towards the window. And that signifies to anybody walking behind you that there is going to be a necessity to move to the side, to go around you. Also be careful if you're carrying, well, in the old days they used to carry canes. I think the only time we see people with canes now are when they're using them as walking sticks. But if you're carrying canes, if you're carrying umbrellas, anything like that, be careful, be considerate. When you stop, when you turn, remember that it's maybe under your arm and it's projecting behind you and could cause an injury to somebody. So if you're stopping, if you're turning, lower it. Look around, make sure there's nobody going to be impaled. You're not a vampire hunter. And also in the modern world, you shouldn't walk and talk on the phone. That distracts you. It's nearly as bad as driving while talking on the phone. It makes you inconsiderate of other people because your attention is on your call. If you're going to go on the phone, again, move to the side, get out of people's way and stop. If somebody on the street or in the shop drops something, be respectful, pick it up. In the old days, 100 years ago, ladies would drop their handkerchief and you would bow down and pick it up for them. That was often a way to begin a conversation with a stranger, a man she maybe liked. But it's very polite nowadays. If you're walking through a shop and products fall off the shelf, maybe nobody touched them. It just happens sometimes. Pick them up. Don't just walk around them. Be considerate. Think somebody else might walk around that corner, not know those cans of beans are on the floor and slip and hurt themselves. So you're avoiding anybody being harmed. And it's also nice that the shop staff don't have to do that. They've got plenty to do already. And again, when you go into shops, greet people, greet the shop assistants. You might hate it, many of us do, when you go in a shop and immediately some assistant's there saying, can I help you? But it's their job, and you just need to say, no, thank you. In fact, when they say, can I help you, say, hello, no, thank you, I'm just looking, I'm just browsing. And when you buy your purchases, say thank you. And always respect other people's space. I think this has become more ingrained in people since the coronavirus. So don't crowd people when they're looking at other products. Don't squeeze past them to get your tin of spam or whatever. Wait for them to get out of the way. It's also nice if you notice a lady or an older person getting out of a vehicle. Maybe this is sexist, I don't know, I'm old school, but if I see a lady struggling to get out of a vehicle, maybe it's a very low car or a very high bus, for example, offer them your hand. Don't grab them, just offer them your hand, and they'll probably place their hand on you just to give them some extra support, extra security while getting out of that vehicle. In Chipping Norton, where I live, some of the curbs are quite high, and I would do that with an elderly person or a pregnant lady who was trying to get up the curb. Give them a hand so they can make that step and up. Don't grab them and heave them onto the path. And no gentleman would ever make a comment about a lady passing them by on the street. Now, we did see this a lot in the sort of 60s, 70s, where workers would be on their building sites and they see a woman walk down the street and they're like, "Hey, love you," and they make all sorts of comments, and that is just unmanly. It shows a total lack of breeding. I think it's okay to compliment somebody you know, maybe a work colleague. You say, "Oh, that's a very nice dress, Angela." It's a bit risky nowadays because there's all this HR, sexual harassment thing, and nowadays saying something like that, you can get into trouble. And I don't understand that. If you're not like, "Oh, that's a nice dress, Angela," if you're not being creepy, if it's just a comment, nobody should take offense. If I walked in the office and somebody said, "Oh, nice new shoes, Chris," I'd be like, "Oh, thank you. Yeah, I got them at a car boot sale," or whatever. You take it as a compliment and give compliments. There is an old Victorian rule that says, learn to say kind and pleasant things when the opportunity arises, which kind of matches with the biblical proverb of pleasant words are as honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Or, depending on your intentions, there's the old proverb that says you catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. So pleasant words, it's always nice. Well, always depends on, again, how you say them. With honesty and sincerity, they should always be accepted as a compliment and should make the person you're speaking to feel good. A little bit of advice here is, remember, manners are about avoiding conflict and confrontation. So always think about what you're going to say before you say it. Don't just blurt your words. A well-mannered person thinks about their words before they say them. Consider, could it be taken the wrong way? And talking about words, if you go back to the shop, when you're dealing with a shop assistant, be pleasant with them. Use kind words. Use please and thank you. Don't order them around. They are worthy of courtesy and manners. So you never order them to show you something. You don't say, "Bring that in a blue." They say it kindly and respectfully. "Oh, would you mind showing me this in a blue?" And so you always greet them with good morning, good afternoon, hello. And when you leave, you always say goodbye and thank you. Even if you didn't buy anything, you say thank you because they've given you their time. Now, as you are aware, queuing is quintessentially British, not just at bus stops and train stations, but in shops, and not just when you're waiting to pay for something. Queuing when waiting to pay for something, I think, is pretty much standard around the world now. But if you're interested in the product and somebody is already looking at it, you wait. You wait your turn. So you're essentially forming a queue. You wait till they finish looking at it, and then when they move away, you step in. Similarly, if you need assistance in the shop, maybe, again, you found a blouse and you want it in the blue and they've only got the red on show, don't call out to the shop assistant. And if the shop assistant is dealing with somebody else, wait your turn. You do not try to grab their attention, make them leave that other person. They are humans too, and if you do that, you're going to cause an internal conflict for them. You're a customer, you need help, but they're already dealing with a customer. So you wait patiently before signaling that you need help. Just a thing like that, like you would for a waiter. Don't shout them, call them, click your fingers. Be polite. And never in the shop talk too loudly, either to the assistant or people you're with, or to yourself. "Oh my God, look at this. I could get this cheaper down the street." That is not appropriate. And it makes you look like an ass. And don't lounge or lean on the counter. Don't handle the products roughly. And never make personal remarks about the staff. There's never any need to make it personal. Those things are all marks of bad breeding. It's not just about respecting them, I think it's respecting yourself as well, about the image you portray. Hello, sorry for interrupting the video. It's too long. and I can't edit it down without losing information, so I'm chopping it in half. I'll upload this half now and the other half either later this evening or tomorrow morning. Again, I apologize. If you find it very annoying, make a comment down below. So hopefully see you for the next half, and take care. Have a great week. Bye bye for now.